Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation/reality chat. All right, so for those of you who have seen the mid-season trailer for Love and Marriage Huntsville, which is going to be returning in September, I was not shocked, but it's very apparent that Kimmi is just going to continue to try to cover for her husband, Maurice, and, say one thing on the show, but then when they are on social media or they may be doing press or media or interviews, then she's going to say another thing. Now, you guys know that recently she was with Maurice on this, I would say, cover-up interview after he did the interview with Carlos King, where he went viral for just being extremely selfish, extremely self-absorbed, and just thinking about his ding-a-ling versus his wife's health and what all she was going through and enduring, to say that his physical needs are just as important, right? Nobody said that he forced her to do anything. No one said that he was, pretty much treating her like she was being assaulted, if you get my drift, but no one thought that what he said was okay. So when she did the interview and she was saying, he never forces me to do anything, and then she wanted to say that, I felt like I was missing out. I was missing out too, because I wanted to. It's like, girl, nobody, even if they've never gone through that unfortunate experience in their health of having to battle that disease, nobody believes you. Nobody in their right mind is thinking about sex when they are going through chemo and radiation and surgery and taking the drugs, the prescription meds and all of that stuff to try to get better, because they don't heal anybody. We know that the medical field is not here to heal anybody. I do believe in healing, but I believe that healing comes from on high. That's my personal belief. But I do believe that doctors are here for a purpose and a reason, but they don't heal anyone. They are here to treat. So she's going through treatments, and the treatments are there to try to make you feel better and hopefully have you to turn the corner and hopefully never to go back there again. But that's the goal, is to get you to feel better. They're not there to heal anyone. So the healing that you have to go through really has to be more spiritual, and you have to really be able to focus more on things that are spiritual versus natural. So sex is the last thing that anyone that's going through cancer is thinking about, okay? So when she said that, it was disgusting, and it, to me, just made me lose all respect that I had for her. And now to see this mid-season trailer and to see, because we know this was all filmed prior to the interview that she did with Maurice on TGIF on Fox Soul. So she was essentially lying on there to cover up and to try to save face, instead of just being honest like she was with him on the show. So I'm going to play this clip really quick. It's just a really quick clip of her having a conversation with Maurice.
A sex therapist.
For you to think that all of a sudden I can just make my body want to have sex.
This is a mental thing, Kimmi.
A medication made me feel this way. That borders on being an...
So you heard that, right? She said a medication, because he tried to insinuate that her not having a desire or not being in the mood is a mental thing. Like, nigga, you ain't a doctor. You're hardly, let's just be honest, you're hardly a lawyer. It's just like, what do you really do? What do you really do? Did you just go to law school just to open up a credit repair agency? But at any rate, you're definitely far from being a doctor or a therapist or a psychologist, none of which you really want to see anyway, because we know that the males on that show, they are opposed to seeking mental help, and they all really need it. They all need it. They all need it. I'm not saying it's going to make them better people, because to be honest with you, I just kind of feel like they're older and set in their ways, and there's really not much going to change about them. And unfortunately, them having the opportunity to be on this show and giving them a platform has just made their heads even bigger. So they're more prone to getting worse than getting better. So for him to have the audacity to sit there and say to her that it's a mental thing, and she responds to him to say, it's a medication. Like, for you to say that, that's bordering on you being an asshole. No, it's not bordering on. That's exactly what he is, amongst other things. I could go down a list of things that I could call him that he actually is, but I'm not even going to waste my time, because again, like I said, the males on the show, they are set in their ways. And even if they were to go to therapy and treatment, they're not going to change, because Carlos allowing these fools to be on this show, to be on this platform, it's just really making them worse. They are the types of people that, if I wouldn't even call people who are saying things that they don't like or that they deem as negative about them, if they do a live video and they're in the comments, or even if they just posted a video and people are leaving comments that are not praising them or that are not seen as positive, I wouldn't even call those people trolls, because a lot of people like to say that those types of things are trolling. But not all comments that are left that are not pleasing or positive or uplifting is trolling. Sometimes it's just that you're, like Kimmi said, an asshole, and people are just saying the truth about you. So, but again, I say that to say that him and his brother, Marcel, those are the types of people that they get off on that type of stuff. They actually like it in a way. It's sick. It's really sick if you think about it, but they actually get off on stuff like that. They don't care. They don't care. And Kimmi knows that. So the fact that she had the balls to say that to him on camera while they're filming, but yet when they sit down to do this interview on TGIF and then you're trying to save face, like, girl, it's similar to people who will be on these reality shows and lie to someone about something, knowing that they're on camera saying something completely different in the confessional. And then when it's time for the reunion and they pull that tape up, like, why not just be honest from the get-go? So for her to say what she said when they're filming for the show, but then to be on this interview with him and to lie to us and tell us that she felt like she was missing out, and really just trying to stand up for him and defend him nonetheless, it was sick. So to see this, after seeing this interview, I was just, and like I said, I wasn't shocked or surprised, because the whole reason why that even came up was because Kimmi was having the conversation with a friend on the show when they were filming about her sex drive being down, going through the treatments. And I mean, as much as I've lost respect for her, I can definitely say what she has been going through, I don't take that away from her. I don't wish that on anyone. I really don't. And I'm happy to hear that she's made it through to the other side, especially in light of the fact that she is in a toxic marriage, in a toxic relationship, in a toxic household where she's fighting for her life, and she's got all of this unnecessary stress put on her about taking care of someone else's kid, as well as having to have her mind on something that is at the time extremely irrelevant, which is sex, when you're fighting for your life. when someone is in a hospital bed, the last thing they're thinking about is screwing. Even if they are the most sex-driven nymphomaniac in the world, if you're on the table having surgery, you're not thinking about having sex. So again, he was being selfish and self-absorbed and thinking about himself. She knew damn well that she was not thinking about having sex. So for her to sit there and say that in that interview that she did with funkydineva, Claudiajordan, and Al Reynolds on TGIF was just absolutely disgusting. It was like, girl, we already know you're lying. And that's why Claudia and funkydineva was giving her the pushback. And I appreciate them for doing that, because they could have just let her sit there and lie through it, you know, but they didn't allow it. Now, they didn't force her to change her mind or to say something different, but they were just pretty much calling her out and letting her know, like, girl, you look so uncomfortable right now. And Maurice, like, what you said is extremely crappy. And would you change your mind? Would you say something different? And he said, like, I said what I said. So I don't know what the conversation was like between the two of them in the car, but we know that she was lying to us and lying to herself by sitting there and covering up for him. It was just absolutely insane. So to see this clip and for him to have the nerve to say that it's a mental thing, I don't want to hear anyone say that, well, they're just doing this for the camera. They're just doing it for the show. It's for a storyline. No, that's real. It's real, and it's real ridiculous. I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to waste any more time talking about that fool. But guys, let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.